my Taurus babies, what's happening? This is EJ from Taurota Tarot. I know y'all mad at me. Like, lady, what happened to the weekend update? I apologize. I'm sorry. But it was birthday weekend, so some things were out of my control. At any rate, this is going to be your weekly update, Taurus. We're rolling through tomorrow, from tomorrow through next Tuesday. So tomorrow the 18th through Tuesday the 26th. I can say this just from having sat here and shuffle and cut the cards that a lot of you are getting ready to, if you've not already, getting ready to run into some exes, run into some past issues, relationship issues. So things that have been unresolved for maybe the past 2 or 3 Venus retrograde cycles. And I'm sorry, I didn't look to see when the last ones were. But within the last year, you're going to be doing review 101. That's all it is. It's just review. Yeah. Definitely about what you want. What you really want out of a relationship. And that's what you should be focusing on. Things that are coming to you from the past. You should be able to evaluate if that's what the hell is happening for the current. Some of you may need to go back. I know that sounds crazy, but some of you may need to go back to old relationships, heal some things. And I'm not talking about abusive relationships either, so get that thought out your head. You should never go back into an abusive relationship. You just shouldn't. But I'm not talking about abusive relationships. I'm talking about relationships that may have ended funky. Maybe were not complete for whatever reason. Maybe somebody had to move or go away. Maybe the other person, you might be dealing with these karmic relationships, soul with the twin flames and soulmates, karmic shit. So some of you may actually need to go back into an old relationship and clean up something, put some, and for some of you it's not going to be a bad thing. It's exactly what you'll need at this point. Others of you need to keep moving forward, but you need to look at any behaviors that may be keeping you out of long-term relationships. So let's see what we got going on here. Individuality pulls the devil card, and a reminder, I do my cards straight up. I don't do reversals. Oh shit, we got 2 back to back. Who the fuck knew? The devil card and the world card goes on the triumph card. So for tomorrow's energy, King of Swords on top of fertility. For Tuesday, Queen of Wands on top of synchronicity. Memories of love for Wednesday. Pulls the High Priestess. Domestic harmony. Pulls the Empress card. Sacral chakra, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Your centerpiece and your challenge. Pulls the Knight of Wands. New beginnings on Saturday. Pulls the Justice card. Prosperity begins. Pulls the Ten of Swords. Universe. Pulls the Lovers. And Patience and Planning pulls the Princess of Wands. So just what I'm saying. That knowledge you got about relationships. You're gonna, for some of you, you're gonna be required actually to, pull back on that knowledge that you've learned, especially if 2019 was a booger year. 2020 don't even count. This is in a whole other class by itself. But at any rate, if last year was one of those years where you just had difficulties with relationships, this is where rubber meets the road. You start putting into practice, or not practice, some of the things that you may have learned from other situations that may have been painful. Again, some of you may be going back. And you're going to have to look at the sacrifice. Whenever I see Lover's card, that's major energy. So with Venus going retrograde, and with other planets kind of doing its thing, going backwards. Saturn went first, then Venus last week, and then Jupiter on Thursday. You got these big, fat, gassy, farty ass planets going in reverse, and they're slow. Venus stuck in between those two fatties. It's not helping. It's not helping the energy. So it's almost like you trying to get past a slow car on the freeway. It's just not gonna happen. So whatever issues come to you about relationships, you're gonna have to think about what is the better. Many of you, not all of you, and however this resonates, grandmama said, eat the fish, leave the bones. Many of you are gonna have more than one choice. So you may have an ex come up from the past and they're talking something. You may be trying to deal with a current situationship. That person may be talking something, and you may just meet somebody new and that person is talking something. The thing about getting into a relationship at this point with Venus retrograde, you really have to read the fine print, the details, because what could look one way right now could be something totally different by the time you get to the end of June. So just bear that thought in mind. Mercury is also getting ready to go retrograde here shortly, if I'm not mistaken. So you're going to have all this retrograde energy. Even if the planet is getting ready to station direct, you still got residuals. So all of this is overlapping, overlayering. So the better thing to do, really, until you get to the 4th of July, is get the checklist out. This is a good time to do self-care, self-love, look at the things that you're currently doing, what you may want to change as far as your relationships are concerned. And this is not just romantic relationships, this is work relationships too. Maybe you've got people at work that are just toxic, that you just don't need to be around. I'm looking at the double card and I feel that. Let's see, let's get to it. Overall energy. Some of you are in that energy where you're looking at karmic situations and going back to. You may not, some of you may not be there just yet, but that's your overall energy. Just looking at relationships and how you fit into the scheme of things. Some of you, it feels like you're not sure with a current situation where you are. And that's where that individuality piece is coming out. You're trying to be yourself, but you may be in a situation where you don't feel like you're able to be yourself. However that's resonating. And that's the kind of overall energy that you're carrying around. The back end of this is almost like a free will and free dealing. What the fuck? Are you serious? Now, you feel like you're lucky. I'm going to put that there because that's probably the right word. You feel lucky and you feel like, you know, it's going to land on 1 million. You feel like that, but you still are kind of uncertain. Devil is in the damn details. And I'm going to say it. Devil is in the details. So again, in this energy, just make sure you read the fine print on anything and everybody, not just on paper, but make sure you're looking at people's backstory. Make sure you know understand what kind of framework they're operating out of. This is the kind of energy where people will only tell you the pretty shit and they won't tell you the negative or what they consider the ugly shit. So just bear that thought in mind. But this is in your overall energy. And see, these are major cards. These are major transformations that you're making within and without. Excuse me. When we get to tomorrow's energy, the King of Swords sitting on top of fertility card, taking whatever. This is a good time, especially for those of you in collaborative projects. I said that right. This is a good time to look at the business end of whatever you're doing, whatever creative endeavor you're into. This is a good time to look at tax laws, talk to attorneys. If you have branding issues, looking at copyright issues, any of that. Titles to company vehicles, even for some of you, it may be cohabitating. You got a joint vehicle, making sure paperwork is up to date, making sure licenses are up to date. And I ain't just talking about your car. Nursing licenses, doctor licenses, whatever kind of license you got, real estate, making sure all your shit is up to date. This is good energy to do that and to do a review. Make sure you know where you are for a small cross section of you. This may be about passports and the like, visas, making sure you have all your ducks in a row. When we get to Tuesday's energy, it's going to be some, what's my word, synchronic energy floating around. And you'll feel this if you're moving through confidence. If you're having self-doubts, I don't think anybody with the devil card and the wheel of fortune sitting on top, I don't think any of you are feeling in birthday month with a lack of self-confidence. But however, the more of it you have, the better, because you just let things flow, and you'll see the synchronicity happening in your life, being at the right place at the right time, answering the phone when you don't ordinarily answer it, got that email from somebody you haven't heard from in a while, that kind of energy. Never let them see you sweat. I'll put it like that. Make sure you're at your peak with your confidence. Whatever challenges or obstacles may come your way on Tuesday, or whatever day this week, doesn't have to just be Tuesday. Make sure your confidence is out there. And be humble enough to, if you make a mistake, to say that. Other than that, keep it moving. Keep your head held high. I don't know who needs to hear that, but okay. Memories of love and the High Priestess. Yeah, and if she were upside down, that's about what we would be looking at, right? The hell. And so, with her energy, I call it the crazy card. It's the only hot pink card in the deck. But being able to break down past relationships, memories of love, and looking at what you need to look at this point, or by this point, whatever time in the next week, 10 days, you may start running into exes or old situations with your current partner, things that you thought were settled. Maybe time for Master's Class Review 101. Time to just get that kick in the head. Look at what's going on before you react. Look at what's going on. And in this instance, I will say you don't need to be so far back to look. You need to really get your face in the meat and potatoes of what the hell is going on, and look at what's going on. Some of you may be missing things still, especially if you are in that group of people that has been working all through this, whatever it is, coronavirus, whatever it is. If you've been working and you haven't really been paying attention to home, or haven't been able to because you've been separated for whatever reason, yeah, you need to take a look at what's going on. For others of you, there may be old relationships that are coming back, and there may be some things where there were some miscommunications, or maybe some preconceived notions. You might find out everything wasn't what you thought it was, and at that point, that will open the door to healing. It'll also open the door to going back. When we get to Thursday's energy, domestic harmony with the Empress. Again, it's about that, your self-worth. And that's tied up in this reading. Your self-confidence, your self-worth, what you value, what you believe. You don't have to sacrifice your self-worth, this is major energy, in your house. Domestic harmony. Shit. You should not have to. If you're in a situation where, and this is more major energy, enough major cards on the board, start bang. If you are in a situation where somebody is not valuing you and what you're bringing to the table, once again, more review and reassessment. Look at that. That may be a place where you need to have a conversation with your partner, your mate, your spouse, whoever, because you are feeling like you just kind of left out in the cold on certain things, or maybe things aren't being communicated to you thoroughly, and you to let your partner know, if we're going to have peace in the house, folks need to be on the same page. It feels like some of you, again, maybe because of work or shifting responsibilities, maybe you're used to going into the office and now you're sitting at home, there's things that are coming to light that you probably were unaware of or just weren't paying attention to, for whatever it's worth. So if you find those things and you feel like you're not being valued, you need to speak on it. Don't sit on it, speak on it. When we get to Friday, what I want, you need to articulate that, but you also need to be careful moving forward. You see that snake, you ain't trying to step on that snake. So this is, I don't want to say it's tricky energy, but it's energy to be mindful of. When you start taking action, especially romantic relationships, that's exactly what the hell. ringing all in my head. When you start taking action, because that's what he's representing here, you need to be careful and move with an open mind and a closed mouth, pretty much. You know what you want, but moving forward and how you get it, you don't want to just jump out there like you brand new. That's that immature energy this card brings back. You don't want to just jump out there like you brand new. Think about what you're doing and what you're saying. And really what's happening for some of you, not everybody, but for some of you, you're kind of getting like a do-over. Like, ooh, we scratched the record, so we're going to just let you do it over. That kind of thing. Or, ooh, we messed up your order. We're just going to give you another one. That kind of energy. So be mindful of it, but as you get ready to start taking action and moving forward, you want to be present. You don't want to be dwelling on shit from the past, and you don't want to be dwelling too far out into the future. You want to be present so you can be mindful of the pitfalls. I hate snakes. Anyway, so you can move forward and get the things you want. Just that simple. And that's kind of what you're going to be working on for the next week or so. When we get to Saturday, that justice, bringing things into balance. Things that need to be where they need to be, you're going to get there. That justice card is telling you that. New beginnings, doesn't matter if it's brand new. And by brand new, we mean just recently started. Or if this is a do-over. Like I said, some of you may be getting back into old relationships to bring some balance, some justice. And not in a malicious, kind of creepy way. But there may, especially in twin flame situations. I don't know why twin flames and seeing twin flames popping up. But if you think you're in a twin flame situation, this might be the time to be trying to bring some balance back into it. Twin flame and in a lot of karmic relationships, not just those, and not just what people call them soulmate relationships, but in a lot of other karmic type romantic relationships, you know you're supposed to be together, but there's all this static and shit. And so then now you're arguing and fighting, and then, you know, it's like, fuck it, we're not gonna do it. Even though you both know. But because the energy is so intense, the emotions are so intense, you can't get close to each other. So this is for those of you that need to know. If you've got that kind of situation going on, there's going to be a small window of opportunity to get in there and just do it. And the balance should be right. And this is really telling me the universe is going to make sure some things are in order for it to be right. And if you wish to go back to it, it's a good time to do it. You get to Sunday's energy, prosperity begins. Yeah, but some of you are still going to be feeling stressed out, overwhelmed, fucked up. Because there are so many new things coming at you. Yeah, prosperity's beginning, but yeah, with you know, more money, more problems. How that go? A lot of you are having more money now because you're working those hours if you're an essential worker and you're getting extra money. Those of you that applies to. Others of you, you may be hooking it up on the other end with a side gig, doing things online that maybe you weren't able to before. So for some of you, you got the money coming. But damn, you know, you're still worried about what's going to happen next month and what's happening after that and this time next year. And so the message here is to slow down enough to enjoy and not worry so much about what's coming in the future. Get out of your head. It's that air card with all that worrying and creating shit that don't need to be created. I'll just say that. Some of you will feel or have been feeling some relief financially. Enjoy it while you have it. That don't mean spend it all today or tomorrow. Save it, but enjoy being comfortable and having a cushion. Get to next Monday. It's the Lover's card in the universe. Definitely putting all the information out on the table before you making any kind of decision using that universe. You're going to be closing up one chapter of your relationship for those of you that this applies to, and going into another chapter and thinking about everything that love entails. Major energy. Nothing to play with. That universe card is making it so. Just not even because it's the Lover's card. That universe card is just making it so. So with that, the knowledge that you currently have, and some of you may have to reach back. You may have to reach back and think about some other situations from a while ago and see how they apply to your current situation and help you evaluate if what you bring to the table is making sense for the whole relationship. Because it might not be. Something to think about. And to think about it without making any kind of just fucking judgment. But really thinking about it and making a thoughtful decision. Those of you that do that will see a good outcome to whatever it is that you're dealing with. At the end of all of this, dealing with next Tuesday, patience and planning. And this has got feet going all over the place. Some of you may decide to stay in a relationship that's going to require you to move. Others of you, and this is the business end of these towers. The other ones are more emotional. But when I see these, this is the business end. You're trying to get something started and completed. But it's going to require some patience and planning. Some of you may be thinking about traveling. Despite whatever else is going on. You're tired of being in the damn house. However that's resonating with you, I hear you. You may be traveling later in the year, earlier next year. It's all about the patience and planning. And pretty much patience and planning is what you're going to need while Venus is in retrograde. You're just going to have to just be patient and plan some shit out. I don't want to hear it either. I know. It's a pain in the damn ass. I'm tired of being patient and waiting and this and that. But as we go through this, you should be able to see where you've grown, even where other people have grown that are in your life, or even those that are in and out of your life. So however that is resonating for you, see what the granny cards have for advice for my dear Taurus. What the fuck we talking about? What the fuck we sitting here talking about? Patience, my dear, patience. I know, I don't want to hear that bullshit either. I feel you, but that's where this is actually, though, to me, better than Mercury retrograde energy, because you don't have to worry about the mechanical. Even though we get ready, rapidly approaching Mercury retrograde, even though we're not in that energy completely yet, Venus going retrograde gives you a damn job to do. You know, Mercury going retrograde annoys the fuck out of you, but Venus gives you a job to do. Review all that heartfelt shit. Take a look at what's going on. Go directly to the source. So for those of you that may be dealing with an ex, you know, and you got other people involved, mamas, sister-in-laws, cousins, kids, some other shit, don't play around. Get as much information in this energy as you can from the horse's mouth. Do not be trying to go the other way, trying to, you know, sky cam and get some other surveillance information from somebody. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just go to the source. Fuck it. Was that you at the club the other night? You know good and well. I'm just saying. Go to the source. There's no reason not to. There's no reason not to. Keep smiling. Keep being who you are. Let's see what else I got over here. Yeah, in the office, particularly about going directly to the source. If there's stuff going on in your office, don't middle around with folks just idle gossiping and shit. Go directly to the source. People don't know what they're talking about, so you're the boss. So this energy is about you making boss type decisions, being yourself. You're the boss. Don't let anybody tell you differently about your life. Nobody can run your life but you. So if you got anybody who's trying to manipulate, redirect, any of that bullshit, you're the boss. Yep. Keep smiling. Damn it, laugh. Find something to laugh about. Divert your attention. Don't keep your attention all stressed out on the same thing because you're trying to work through a problem, divert your attention. Go laugh. Go do something. Just go do something. Do something funny. Look at something funny, and then take some downtime. Some of you may need to take a nap. Shit, you need to do it. On the treadmill, a lot of y'all are working. I know you are in healthcare. I feel you. You're working and you grinding, and you're not taking any time for yourself. You gotta take a minute. You gotta take a minute. However that's resonating with you. You can't just get up and go to, especially, you know, if all you're dealing with is people in crisis right now. You have to take a minute for yourself. Say a prayer. Look at nature. Find something inspirational. Talk to someone inspirational. Don't not do it though. You need it. I'm going to leave it there, Taurus. I hope y'all have a wonderful week. I love you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.